Hey guys, it's Targan coming at you with another game of Minecraft. It's just wheat today. You know the drill. We're gonna plant some wheat. Maybe mine some wheat, you know. A true wheat farmer thinks of wheat as mining, not as farming, you know. Farming's not exactly what we do here. It's mainly just wheat. Hey CG Bing, how are you? Sometimes after a long day at work, all I want to do is come home and plant a little bit of wheat. No, what I want is to have like 8 more hours to play video games, but unfortunately that is not the way time works, or so it has been explained to me, by a person who probably doesn't know how time really works, right? Have you ever noticed that? People like tell you how time works, but you figure they don't really know. Like someone will describe gravity, and at the end, you're not really sure if they know. Hello, Evan. Hello, Pufflet. Indeed, time to eat. Yeah. It's like sometimes I'm like, I just won't stream anything. I'll only have, like 30 or 45 minutes. I'm like, no, let's plant some wheat. Let's go say hi to people. Man, we're gonna have to find new realms here if we're not careful. We're gonna have to plant even more wheat somewhere. Yeah. I had this Warhammer stream the other day. It was super funny. I think YouTube was just like sending people to me automatically because there was like 250 people at some point, and there's zero chance that all those people were like, trying to get here, right? Plofta, I'm sure that you have a busy life. No, I'm always happy to see you when you stop in, but don't feel like you have to make a frowny face about not having time. After all, what I do most of the time is just plant wheat. Look at trees in the distance, and, have a time. You are here today, indeed. And so am I, and that's all right. I'm all right with being here today. Nah, that's too bleak. I am pleased to be here planting wheat today. It could have gone worse. Yes, now I am doing more Warhammer stuff. I finally played Total War Warhammer, which I guess I had done like a few videos of a campaign in 1 and then a few in 2, but I think it was like right before I like got my surgeries and everything, and I just never came back to it because I couldn't really play. Warhammer is like a setting for stories. There's Warhammer Fantasy, which is, ghosts and goblins and vampires and dwarves and stuff, but like turned up to 11, and it's sort of like over the top and satirical in a lot of ways. And then there's Warhammer 40k, which is like sci-fi. But Total War is like a real-time strategy game. So the original one that I was familiar with was like Total War Rome. So, you have like a turn-based map, and you're like, you have your provinces and you try to get money, and then you raise armies, and then you go into a real-time strategy battle system. And that's Total War. So in Warhammer Total War, this is the third one, you have, dwarves or elves, so you have dragons and chariots pulled by giant lions. and like cackling mad snakes, that ride on top of the sand and like shoot laser beams out of their eyes, stuff like that. And it's very cool. But they have a bunch of historical ones, like Shogun is really well regarded. It's like a Japanese historical one. Then they had like medieval. There's a lot of different Total War games, but the Warhammer ones are the ones I like best. Yes, Wyverns. But I like Warhammer like in general, and the fantasy, it's just, look, if you get two armies of people lined up, it's just cooler to me that some of them are dragons. I don't care. Like, that's just awesome, and I love it. I like that there are minotaurs, the Empire, like the Empire of Man, they still have like dudes that ride into battle on like big griffins, and there are vampires, there's magic, and it's a really cool game. It's the third one, and there's been like a ton of DLCs and stuff, so there's something like 25 factions, and then they have principal characters, the Lord at the top, that can sort of like change the way things play a lot. But yeah, they have a bunch of weird names, and some of them are... it's really just one of them that's very sketchy. But yeah, like one of the orcs' name is Grimgore Ironhide. There's Gorbad Ironclaw. That's what the orcs are called. You never mistaken lapis for diamonds before? I used to do it all the time whenever I was starting. But yeah, they have a whole bunch of weird names. Warhammer is so like, it's basically like an over-the-top version of everything. So they have elves, but you know how like in Tolkien elves are sort of haughty sometimes, Well, in Warhammer they're just like ridiculously aloof, And like how dwarves, sort of hold grudges and stuff. In Warhammer, the dwarves literally have a big book with all their grudges in it. And like no matter how small, it goes in the book, and it's the job of all the dwarves to strike the grudges out by avenging themselves, which is just super excellent. There, of course, were not Minecraft videos whenever I was a kid. I almost certainly would have played Minecraft and been, like, super into it, but, it wasn't out. And then I didn't play it when it came out, but I wasn't at a point in life where I would have even enjoyed it, I mean, I would have, but not properly. I'm glad I waited, till I was in a good space to play it. And it's fun because I've got to share my Minecraft journey with the world. Evan, I think you're misunderstanding again. Those are probably not robots, they're probably real people that are on autoplay. I do not think anybody is botting my streams. That's not free. Somebody would have to pay to do that. There would be no reason. It's much more likely that the YouTube algorithm is simply automatically placing people there. And they're probably real people. Every night I go to sleep watching a Turin Total Warhammer multiplayer video. I like his voice. It helps me go to sleep. I just, everybody's got a streamer like that probably. And Turin's my go-to guy for the last couple years. I can't even pay attention. I just turn it on low. Anyway, it's pretty funny stuff. But I wake up, and there's any number of of videos that played while I was asleep, and I don't know what's going on there. And I assume that's what's happening. Especially because, like, you know, if you're watching a game and there's only a couple people that are streaming it, and then it just starts sending everybody there, is how I think it happens. Because electricity's not free. And if they were robots, then, like, ipso facto would have to have been sent by a person on purpose. Or by a robot on purpose. Or by an alien on purpose. You know, it doesn't matter who sent them. It's just not likely. I don't understand emojis, so I just invariably ignore them when I see them. I'm always bringing up my flip phone. If somebody sends an emoji to my phone, it just shows up as a black rectangle, like an empty rectangle. And I just imagine what picture they sent. And it doesn't happen often. I don't really use my phone. I don't think I've sent a text in the last couple months. That reminds me, I'm supposed to text somebody. I saw my friend in the grocery store, and we tried to arrange to play Warhammer. Not Warhammer Total War, he doesn't play that, but Warhammer with the models. Oh, I didn't mention. So Warhammer, here, let me grab one from a box real quick. This is from my pile of shame over here. So, like, this is a little necromancer guy, but it's still in the box because I haven't opened it, but they're plastic models. You cut them out, and then you prime them, and then you paint them how you want them to be painted. And so that's what... Sorry, I totally dropped on saying that at all. That's what Warhammer is. Warhammer is a tabletop setting that exists to sell models, and also has video games, novels. They're making a TV show of Warhammer 40k with Henry Cavill. There's lots of games and stuff, but anyway... I forgot to mention the minis. That's pretty funny. But, yes. I am in the USA. I live in a state called Arkansas, where everybody talks just like me. It's my favorite joke. Owned Victoria, Australia? Wow. That's so cool. Yes, I live in a state called Arkansas where there's enough people that live in the USA that couldn't even point to it on a map, probably. Yes, indeed. It is much more than that. You know, it's funny when you're from a place and people only know like one or two things, right? 'Cause you hear a lot of it. No, but I think Australia is a super interesting place. It's like, this is gonna sound pretty aloof maybe, but like, as a lover of strategy games, like, Australia is just super fascinating. I love a geography with strange population density, right? With like a huge like zone in the middle where people don't typically live. Like, that to me, like, as a lover of like fantasy novels and stuff, like, Australia structurally in that regard seems like quite romantic. I don't know if that makes sense or if it sounds dumb, but I just think it's cool, you know, like, it's like you would you would read in a book, you know, that it's a giant island, but nobody really lives in the middle because, you know, it's inhospitable and not a lot of water or whatever, you know. But my Australian thing that I always think of, so there is a, books and cartoons and stuff called The Rescuers, and they were like little mice that would, go around the world and get in adventures and save people. And there was one called The Rescuers Down Under, where they went down to Australia to save like somebody. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. There was a bird involved. I don't think they were saving the bird, but anyway. Yeah, Bluff. No, we probably won't be streaming for too much longer, but I appreciate you stopping by. It's good to see you, and enjoy your lunch. Should you go Verity or Gold Temple? Well, Gold Temple is a cooler name. I would say try the one where the hard part is earlier in the run. Unless it's about the same. Because if you can find, the difficult part that's earlier, then you have more chances to convert through. It's raining. We're gonna have to mine a little bit of wheat here. Hey Flakes, how are you? Alright, where to get some wheat? Is it over here yet? Oh, we could get some here. Hey, local noob. He's the cheese guy. I barely remember what I did before wheat. Cause you guys might know this or you might not. I think I bring it up all the time, but I started this wheat field about a year ago. The very first wheat video, the excellently named Farm of Reasonable Size, took place just about 11 and a half months back. So we've been working on the wheat field for like a full year now. You're gonna leave now? Well, enjoy your gaming. We won't be planting wheat for too long, but it was nice to see you. The only very sad thing about wheat farming is, like everybody else that's a gamer, I like to excitedly jump as I travel. Like, that's very important to me. Like, in World of Warcraft, it's, like, incredibly necessary to do that to show, like, your good nature and your friendliness to strangers and stuff. And it's also fun, But here, if you jump, you'll screw up the fertilization. And that's very sad, because I prefer to jump when I run around. That golem just getting stuck. Sometimes they like to do that. Who knows why? Not me. There should be a crafting table, like right here. Yes. Specifically so we can make hay bales. You know, we should very obviously get some dirt here. Like, what's even going on with all this stone? We'll work on that later. Hello, Puffno. Welcome back. Hey, just Ducky. Yes, indeed. Wheat. Wheat today. Wheat tomorrow. Wheat forever. Every once in a while, it's so funny to me. Someone will they'll come in and they'll very helpfully be like, hey, you know, your wheat's not irrigated, it'll grow faster and such, and you know, which is very nice of them. And then I'm like, oh, do you know who I am? Like, do you know who I am? Have you heard of me? And then they're like, oh, sorry, I was not familiar with your game. Hey Liam, how are you? I'm doing just fine, Liam. It was a long day at work. It's hot outside, you know, just old man stuff. Just old man stuff, you know. Closing up the restaurant, and I kept on finding things that weren't right and needing to fix them. Just a whole bunch of little things. Hey, Quando! How are you? Yes, Liam, indeed. I am a line cook at a steakhouse. And after working 10 or maybe 12 or maybe 8 or maybe 6 hours tomorrow, I'll have a couple of days off, and I'm very excited about that. Ducks do rule the world now. If it rules the world and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But, like, you know, I work with people, and I'm like, man, you guys don't even go home and plant wheat in Minecraft. Like, I don't... like, I don't even know how they can get through life without wheat and still have to do the same nonsense I have to do all day long. How long am I going to wheat this world for? Well, technically, we're almost to where we're supposed... Look, so... I was already supposed to be done. I was supposed to build the Temple of Wheat, and there was going to be a thing anyway. But I turned back this way, to the other side of the Mountain of Wheat. Because this whole side of it was sort of lightly done before this phase. But, you know, until there's enough. Cause like this isn't even, this world isn't like the world of wheat. This is my original Minecraft world. There were other ones that I played on normal that I like deleted because I got, you know, this is my first world that I played and stuck with. I started it on peaceful, and I learned to play the game here. But along the way, I went mad. Mad with the desire for more wheat than anyone had ever planted. More wheat than anyone had ever seen. Ah, cinematic shot. Wonderful. Like, I always feel like I need to defend myself. You know, it's like I'm not even that into wheat. You know, like I'm not, like some people are really obsessed with stuff. So am I. Not like crops. Not crops. I mean, like, I guess now for the rest of my life I'll be the guy that planted 322,000, yeah, 296,000. We planted 296,000 wheat seeds here. So, you know, some wheat. Yes, there's no wheat for you on your server because I have got all of the wheat. Someone else is coming. Oh no. There'll be a party. Yeah, you know, it never goes too much past midnight, but we'll give it a little bit longer. Hello, normal. I'm like, oh man, I have this question, but it's probably one you guys get all the time from Australia. So like, when you play Risk, do y'all try to get Australia too? Like, is that like what a novice Risk player does for the security? Like, do you guys meme about it like we do here in the USA? Ah, you are also Australian. I see. But I remember I'm like, now I'll talk about Australia purely in regards to media and video games that I have done. I'm like, so Australia is really fun to play in Civilization 5. Their guy wears a hat, you know, and they've got good bonuses. They have like this specific like miniature campaign thing that I thought was a lot of fun. Quinda, you say, you know, as soon as we got another awesome channel before GTA 6. Aw. Aw, shucks. I just have to imagine that, like, when electricity was being invented by some clouds, the reason they did it was so that I could one day plant a bunch of wheat in Minecraft. So, thanks, clouds. Good job. And if you know more about electricity than that, either keep it to yourself or tell us all about it, whichever you prefer. Anyone who knows how things work can't be forced to tell anyone. You guys talk about dinosaur pets, makes me want to play Stardew Valley again. You know, I had an awesome time playing Stardew. I could totally start another farm and that would be fun. I'm already playing so many games. I'm playing so many games, which is good. Like, this is always how I wanted my channel to be. Because I tunnel vision really heavily, but like growing up, you know, I always played a variety of games, like with my friends and my family and that kind of thing, and I always wanted my channel to be more than like one game. And then when I started it, I discovered Mountain Blade Warband, and I got so obsessed with it that I like did nothing but do Warband videos and basically play Warband for a super long time. Yeah, because I played Stardew for the first time, like, you know, on stream and all, but I must have played like 120 hours of it. It was basically all I played for a good month or so. There was a while where I was just like basically not even playing Minecraft. I didn't plant wheat for like a whole month in a row. But I've only ever done the one farm, so it could definitely be interesting to do like a different style of farm, and like now that I know way more how the game works, it could be interesting to see how it goes. You say on a scale of 1 to 100, how much of the world have you covered in wheat? Well, let's go look. So. It's like, why is it happening? In Warhammer, I used that key to rotate the camera, and I've been playing a bunch of it, you know. Anyway, so, let's look. This is where we're at now. This is the other side of the mountain of wheat. This is some of the world. So, you know, that's how far away we are now. And, you know, there's still plenty of world to go. And, you know, we've got more wheat there. And then here, so that's like the mountain of wheat. This is like Wheat Park. This is what I call the new field. Although we've been working on it for some time now. Of course, over there's the Island of Scholars. That's where we're building the Great Library. I've got like 7,000 bookshelves, but you know, we haven't really started. I could make a lot more bookshelves. I've got plenty of leather in chests. From the Field of 1,000 Cows. You'll never guess how it got its name. But yeah, so, you know, as you see, this is more of the wheat field. There in the distance, you can't really see Wheat Mountain. That's the problem with how far away everything is, right? Like, there in the distance, that's Wheat Mountain. And then right here, you can see the other mountain. So, this is the idea, right? We've covered this whole thing up here, and you saw how on the other side of Wheat Park, you know, that it was almost done. So we cover this up, and then here we're going to build a temple of wheat, probably styled, you know, sort of like a Greek classical temple, like a Parthenon styled thing. We're gonna make a river connect through there, nothing fancy. So like a very long time ago, like July of last year, probably, like legitimately a year ago, I built this staircase. It was so long ago, I was probably playing in Java. I was still using fires to indicate to me where places were and like stuff like that, because I didn't have the F3 screen yet. So I dug this staircase in the side of the wall, and then I cleared this top of the place here, and I was like, you know, we've put some junk in there over time on our way around, but I always thought, you know, we'll build something up here. But this is where the Temple of Wheat's going to be. And that, you know, so that's how much of the world we've covered in wheat. But we'll stop off here at the Field of 1,000 Cows. I don't remember where my sword is. And obviously, as you see from all of this beef and leather in the chests, we don't want to just, like, waste the cows or anything. So, time to do some mending, you know. This is what the graphics card craves. No, I don't even think it's demanding. Does anybody in here play Geometry Dash? Oh, only sometimes. I just don't enjoy it nearly as much as other people seem to, you know. It was fun before I got better at it. Alright, all of these cows have already... Yeah, we're not able to feed any of them. Oh, it's because it was seeds in the offhand. Wow, way to go me. Yeah, I just have, like, such a better time playing other kinds of games. Stuff with a story, you know. Stuff where I can tell a story about what's going on. Like, I love playing Minecraft because, like, in my hardcore world, I just, you know, like, develop pets, and I've got, like, all these little funny stories that I tell myself and others, you know, about the way that everything came to be. The lore of the world, for lack of a better word. Nonsense. These cows are fine. You'll note that I haven't picked up a single piece of meat or leather off the ground, and that means they are all totally within reasonable bounds. This is, after all, 1,800 cows. It's not like too many. Hey, IDK man. Unfortunately, you've come right at the end. I have not played this forest game. Look at the cats. They're always watching. Anyway, this is our farmhouse. This is technically where we kind of live. There's not even a box. There is a secret tunnel. Through the mountain. Secret, 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 secret tunnel. It's right here. I can't show it to you because I don't have a pickaxe. Anyway, you go in here, you break through the painting on the wall, and then you drop down here onto this Assassin's Creed thing. And then I never built the tunnel. There's this thing. I was going to build a tunnel. Wow, okay, yeah. That's confusing. We're just going to ignore all that. Apparently, that's what the world looks like underneath. But anyway, that is... Quinto, you say, are more likely to be bitten by someone in New York than a shark. That's true. I saw that curated Tumblr post. I laughed pretty hard. That was good stuff. So you'll probably be watching the streams unless you have to deal with 6 newborn kittens. Well, good on you for helping the cats as when they're young. Hey, they get to take care of themselves pretty well later on. Cats do, of course. Part of their charm. But anyway, that is unfortunately all I've got for you today, because it's already almost 12:30. It's like 85 degrees outside, and I'm ready for summer to be over, but that's enough old manning about the weather. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. That's just it. That's just wheat. That's all I have. That's all I'll ever have. But anyway, thank you guys. It's so nice to see y'all and hang out. Hope you sleep well if, that's on your schedule. And for my Australian associates, enjoy the other side of the world. And I hope it is cooler outside there than it is here. Anyway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed. Good night, Evan. Bye, Plufna. Bye, Quindo. Bye, IDK. Bye, Normal. Wonderful to see all of you. And anyway, perhaps I'll see you in another stream or video. Good night.